Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today I will teach you how to approach a case of vulval cancer during exam, starting with taking history, doing examination, running some investigation and how to treat and follow up this case. Vulval cancer history, introduction and biodata, name, age, marital status, parity, occupation, education, address, socio-economic status, and menopausal status. Then ask from the patient presenting complaint. Ask the main complaint in patient's own language. Itching, vulval swelling, ulcer, lump, pain, bleeding, discharge, burning, urinary symptoms or difficulty walking or sitting. History of vulval lesion. Ask about onset and duration of lesion, exact site, labia majora, labia minora, clitoris, perineum, perineal area. Then ask about progression, increasing size, spreading, non-healing ulcer. Then number, single or multiple lesions. Then character, lump, ulcer, wart, plaque, blister, thickened skin, surface, smooth, roughy or warty, ulcerated, bleeding, foul smelling. Then ask about pain, spontaneous, on touch, during intercourse, while passing urine. Then ask about bleeding, spontaneous, postcoital, on touch. Ask about discharge, watery, blood stain, purulent, offensive. Itching, duration, severity, worst at night, effect on sleep. Any previous similar lesion, any lesion elsewhere on body, mouth, anus, vagina, or cervix. Symptoms suggesting local spread. Ask about difficulty passing urine, burning micturition, hematuria, frequency or urgency, difficulty passing stool, rectal bleeding, pain during defecation, dyspareunia, vaginal bleeding or discharge, pain in groin, swelling in groin. Symptoms suggesting metastasis. Ask about weight loss, loss of appetite, low grade fever, chronic cough, shortness of breath, chest pain, bone pain, backache, abdominal distension, jaundice, and leg swelling. Risk factor history. Ask specifically about previous vulval intraepithelial neoplasia, history of cervical intraepithelial neoplasia or cervical cancer, previous abnormal pap smear, HPV infection, vaccination status, multiple sexual partners, early age at first intercourse, smoking, HIV, immunosuppression, diabetes, long-term steroid use, chronic vulval itching, lichen sclerosus, lichen planus, chronic vulval dermatosis, poor hygiene, previous radiotherapy. Then ask about gynecological history, age at menarche, LMP, age at menopause, postmenopausal bleeding, vaginal discharge, pap smear history, previous cervical screening result, previous colposcopy or biopsy, use of topical creams, steroids or local treatments. Obstetric history. Ask about parity, mode of deliveries, any difficulty, vaginal delivery, future fertility desire if young, any previous gynecological history, then sexual history, sexually active or not, dyspareunia, postcoital bleeding, number of partners if appropriate, partner symptoms, history of sexually transmitted infections, impact on sexual life and relationship. Past medical history, diabetes, hypertension, tuberculosis, HIV or immunodeficiency, thyroid disease, chronic skin disease, autoimmune disease, previous malignancy, cervix, vulva, vagina, breast, past surgical history, previous vulval biopsy or excision, hysterectomy, cervical procedures, cancer surgery, radiotherapy or chemotherapy, any groin surgery. Drug and allergy history, current medications, use of steroid or immunosuppressant, topical vulval creams, antibiotics or antifungals already used, drug allergies, chemical or cream allergy. Family history, vulval cancer, cervical cancer, breast, ovarian, uterine, bowel cancer, tuberculosis. Personal and social history. Ask about smoking, recreational drug use, alcohol if relevant, BMI or weight change, mobility, exercise, personal hygiene, support at home, living with husband, family, ability to attend follow up. Effect on quality of life, effect on walking, sitting, passing urine, sleep, sexual life, daily activity, emotional distress, embarrassment, and social functioning. At the end of the history, you will summarize the history, thanks the patient, address her concern, proceed to examination after consent, privacy, in presence of chaperone, and adequate exposure. Now come to the examination. I will start by explaining the examination to patient. Taking informed consent, ensuring privacy, adequate exposure, good light, and female chaperone. I will examine her gently because the lesion may be painful. Starting with the general physical examination, I will assess her general condition, whether she is comfortable, cachectic, pale, jaundiced, dehydrated, or in pain. I will record pulse, blood pressure, temperature, respiratory rate, BMI, and performance status. I will look for anemia, lymphadenopathy, pedal edema, clubbing, jaundice, and signs of weight loss. I will examine the skin for scratching marks, chronic dermatosis, lichenification, pigmentation, ulcers, or lesion elsewhere on the body. I will examine the mouth for ulcers or mucosal lesions, especially if lichen planus is suspected. I will examine the chest, especially if there is cough, breathlessness, or suspicion of metastasis. I will do breast examination if clinically indicated because she is an elderly woman and may have associated malignancy. Abdominal examination, I will inspect the abdomen for scars, distension, visible masses, hernia, ascites, or radiotherapy marks. On palpation, I will check for tenderness, abdominal mass, hepatomegaly, splenomegaly, and suprapubic fullness. I will percuss for ascites if indicated. I will auscultate bowel sounds if abdominal pathology is suspected. Groin lymph node examination. This is very important in vulval cancer. I will palpate both inguinal and femoral regions systematically. I will note whether nodes are unilateral or bilateral, number of nodes, size, tenderness, consistency, mobility, fixation to skin or deeper tissue, matting, ulceration, or skin involvement. I will also check lower limb edema because lymphatic obstruction may occur. Local vulval examination. I will place the patient in lithotomy position with good light. I will inspect the vulva carefully without touching first. I will assess the lesion for site, size, number, shape, surface, color, margin, base, depth, bleeding, discharge, ulceration, necrosis, warty change, pigmentation, induration, tenderness, fixation, and surrounding skin changes. I will mention the exact anatomical site: labia majora, minora, clitoris, perineum, posterior foresheet, vestibule, urethral opening, perineal area, or Bartholin gland region. I will ensure the lesion in centimeters and estimate its distance from midline, urethra, vagina, anus, and clitoris. I will look for multifocal disease, satellite lesions, leukoplakia, lichen sclerosus, lichen planus, VIN like changes, excoriation marks, infection, or secondary ulceration. I will gently palpate the lesion to assess thickness, induration, tenderness, mobility, fixation, and involvement of underlying structures. Assessment of adjacent organ involvement. I will specifically look for involvement of urethra, lower vagina, clitoris, perineum, anus, and rectum. If the lesion is close to the urethra, I will assess urinary meatus involvement. If it is posterior, I will assess perineal body, anus, and rectal mucosa. I will perform speculum examination if tolerated. I will do gentle speculum examination. I will inspect the vagina and cervix for discharge, bleeding, growth, ulcer, cervical lesion, vaginal extension, or synchronous lower genital tract disease. I will take cervical screening if due and appropriate. Bimanual examination. I will assess the uterus for size, position, mobility, tenderness, and any pelvic mass. I will assess adnexa for masses or tenderness. I will assess vaginal walls, cervix for induration or extension. Rectal or rectovaginal examination. I will perform rectal or rectovaginal examination if posterior disease is suspected. I will assess rectal mucosa, parametrium, pelvic sidewall involvement, and whether the mass is fixed. Examination under anesthesia. If the patient is in pain, examination is inadequate, lesion is extensive, or biopsy is required, I will arrange examination under anesthesia. During examination under anesthesia, I will assess the exact extent of disease, involvement of urethra, vagina, anus, rectum, and take biopsy from lesion. After examination, I will document the lesion with diagram, measure it accurately, assess clinical stage, explain finding to the patient, and plan biopsy, imaging, staging, and multidisciplinary management. Investigations. The objectives are to confirm the diagnosis, determine the histological subtype, stage the disease accurately, assess operability, detect lymph node involvement, identify distant metastasis, assess fitness for surgery. Basic laboratory investigations are routine pre-operative investigations, CBC, blood group, cross match, renal function test, liver function test, serum electrolytes, coagulation profile, blood glucose or HbA1c, urine analysis plus minus urine culture, pregnancy test if patient is in reproductive age. Histological confirmation. Vulval punch biopsy, gold standard for diagnosis, should be taken from edge of the ulcer, thickest part of the lesion, suspicious pigmented area. Biopsy confirms histological type, grade, depth of invasion, lymphovascular space invasion, associated VIN, margin characteristics. If multiple lesions exist, biopsy each suspicious lesion separately. Imaging depends upon tumor size and clinical stage. MRI pelvis preferred for tumor more than 2 cm. Suspicion of urethral involvement, vaginal involvement, anal involvement, deep stromal invasion. MRI assess tumor size, depth of invasion, relation to urethra, vagina, anal sphincter, adjacent soft tissues. CT chest and abdomen and pelvis useful for advanced disease, enlarged groin nodes, assessment of distant metastasis, evaluates pelvic nodes, para-aortic nodes, lungs metastasis, liver metastasis. PET CT indication advanced disease, suspicious nodal disease, suspected distant recurrent disease, groin ultrasound used for assessment of inguinal lymph nodes, ultrasound guided FNAC of suspicious nodes. Sentinel lymph node assessment recommended when unifocal tumor less than 4 cm, clinically node negative groin, no previous vulval surgery, disrupting lymphatics. Sentinel node mapping is performed using technetium 99 blue dye, indocyanine green. Positive sentinel nodes requires further management according to size of metastasis. Examination under anesthesia performed if adequate examination is difficult, allows assessment of exact tumor size, distance from midline, urethra, vagina, cervix, anal canal, rectum. Additional biopsy can be taken. Cystoscopy indication suspected urethral involvement, bladder involvement, proctoscopy and sigmoidoscopy indications suspicion of anal canal or rectal involvement, cervical assessment because HPV related disease may coexist, cervical cytology, HPV testing, colposcopy if indicated. Assessment of fitness for surgery, especially in elderly women, ECG, chest x-ray, echocardiography, anesthesia fitness, nutritional assessment, frailty assessment. Treatment management should always be discussed in MDT, including gynecological oncologist, pathologist, radiologist, radiation oncologist, plastic surgeon, clinical nurse specialist, physiotherapist, palliative care team. Treatment depends upon FIGO stage, tumor size, depth of invasion, midline or lateral lesion, lymph node status, histology, patient fitness, patient wishes. Early stage disease, stage 1A, characteristics, lesion equal to or less than 2 cm, stromal invasion equal to or less than 1 mm, node negative, treatment, wide local excision, goals, complete excision, histological margin equal to or more than 8 mm, usually corresponding to approximately 1 cm surgical margin. No groin node surgery is usually required. Stage 1B treatment, radical wide local excision plus groin node assessment depending upon tumor location. Lateral lesion more than 2 cm from midline, ipsilateral sentinel node or ipsilateral inguinofemoral node, lymphadenectomy. Midline lesion requires bilateral groin assessment because lymphatic drainage crosses the midline. Sentinel lymph node surgery preferred over complete groin dissection in selected women because it reduces wound complications, reduces lymph edema, reduces lymphocyte formation, improves quality of life. Inguinofemoral lymphadenectomy performed when sentinel node not suitable, clinically positive groin nodes, large tumor, multifocal disease, complications, infection, seroma, lymphocyst, chronic lymphedema, wound breakdown. Advanced local disease management usually involve radical surgery or primary chemoradiation when surgery would cause unacceptable morbidity. Radical surgery may include radical vulvectomy, partial ureterectomy, partial vaginectomy, anal resection, plastic reconstruction with local or myocutaneous flaps when necessary. Radiotherapy indication. Adjuvant radiotherapy recommended for positive groin nodes, multiple involved nodes, extracapsular nodal spread, positive or closed surgical margin when re-excision is not feasible. Primary radiotherapy for inoperable disease, medically unfit patient, organ preservation. Chemoradiotherapy, usually cisplatin based. Indication locally advanced disease, organ preservation, positive surgical margins not amenable to further surgery, nodal disease requiring concurrent treatment, then systemic therapy for metastatic or recurrent disease. Options include platinum based chemotherapy, taxanes combination, immunotherapy in selected biomarker positive cases, targeted therapy where appropriate clinical trials. Palliative treatment for incurable disease, pain control, bleeding control, palliative radiotherapy, wound care, psychological support, nutritional support. Follow up purpose, detect recurrence early, manage treatment complication, assess wound healing, monitor lymph edema, address sexual function and psychological well being. Follow up schedule 1 to 2 years every 3 to 4 months, 3 to 5 years every 6 months, after 5 years, annually or as clinically indicated, especially for women with ongoing risk factors or previous high risk disease. At each visit, ask vulval itching, new lump, pain, bleeding, discharge, urinary symptoms, bowel symptoms, groin swelling, weight loss, sexual function. Do examination of entire vulva, perineum, perineal area, palpate, groin nodes, surgical scar, speculum examination if indicated, bimanual examination if symptoms suggest pelvic disease. Imaging not routinely performed, reserved for symptoms, clinical suspicion, abnormal examination, MRI, CT, PET CT may be used depending upon the suspected site of recurrence. Long term care manage lymphedema, sexual dysfunction, vaginal stenosis, body image concerns, menopause symptoms, psychological issue. Recurrence. Most recurrences occur within the first 2 years, although late recurrence can occur. Sites of recurrence. Local recurrence most common. Vulva, groin recurrence. Poorer prognosis, pelvic recurrence. Distant mets, common site, lung, liver, bone. Management depends on site, previous treatment, patient fitness. Options include repeat local excision, radical surgery, radiotherapy, chemoradiotherapy, systemic therapy, palliative treatment. Management should be individualized and discussed in an MDT. Prognosis. The most important prognostic factor is inguinofemoral lymph node status. Other prognostic factors include FIGO stage, number of positive lymph nodes, extracapsular nodal spread, tumor size, depth of stromal invasion, margin status, lymphovascular space invasion, histological grade, HPV associated versus HPV independent subtype. Patient age and comorbidities. Patients with early stage disease, negative lymph node, adequate surgical margins generally have an excellent prognosis, whereas nodal metastasis and advanced stage disease are associated with substantially higher risk of recurrence and reduced survival. Biopsy is mandatory before definitive treatment. Sentinel node biopsy is appropriate only for selected patients with unifocal tumor less than 4 cm and clinically negative groin nodes. The most important prognostic factor is inguinofemoral lymph node status. Wide local excision has replaced radical vulvectomy for many early lesions to reduce morbidity while maintaining oncological safety. All vulval cancers should be managed through a MDT gynecological oncology team. Lifelong surveillance is advisable because women remain at risk of local recurrence and new vulvar neoplastic lesions, particularly those with underlying lichen sclerosus or differentiated VIN. This is complete package of how to approach a vulval cancer during exam. Hope this will help you during exam. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share this video to your friends for more information.